Hello everyone, how are you doing? My name is Angelnath, and this morning I'll be taking us through how to use external API calls in Dune Analytics. Sometimes you might be trying to run a data analysis on Dune, and your query will keep getting bounced. You have to write multiple codes just to get data like price, market cap, circulating supply. There was a time I was trying to do the circulating supply of a project, and I have to just go and read everything about the token, their lock and everything. And it's stressful, but there's an easy way to get it using your API calls. You can just use external API. You just call an external API endpoint from already known data aggregator like CoinGecko, Dex, Gecko Terminal, DeFi Llama, CoinMarketCap, and many others you can use. You just call the API and you extract the data you need from their own JSON file. So for this tutorial, there are just three things you need to understand. And calling an external API requires two things: understanding how it works on Dream, and here is the basic format with a API response. The first, you use your HTTP gates and the API endpoint. This is just a placeholder. Once we get our API endpoint, I'll replace it here. Then you pass the data and then you extract. Just three phrases. For today, I'll be using the Gecko Terminal Dex API, but let me just show you the type of APIs you can get from. So for Gecko Terminal API, you can get charts if you need to pull charts by pull address. You just need your pull address and you pull the charts. There's difference between pull address and contract address. Yeah, then you can get supported DEX. This one will give you all the DEX that supports that blockchain. You can get a lot. You can get your polls, trending poll. You can get the pull data by multiple. You can get different API for token. You can get a trade, and you can just get simple, just the token price sharp. So this is how it looks, and also you need to understand how JSON works. But if you've read my article on Twitter where I talk about how to extract API calls in Dune, you should by now understand a lot of basics about it here. So Dune provide two key functions: the HTTP GET URL. This is how you extract, and this is the JSON format. Now let's see, say for example, now this is the API endpoint I'm using. Let me just copy this API endpoint. Before you go further, you need to check how your API endpoints look. Now, this is how the API endpoint will look when you get the API endpoint from anywhere you get it from. This is how the API endpoint will look. This is how scattered, but you just need to click on Pretty Brains, then it will show it the way you need to see it here. This API starts with data, and here is the token address. Here is every information in it. You can just go through it and check if it actually contains everything you need. The API endpoint you call might not be the one that you actually need. So if this is not the one you need, you have to go back to where you get your API and look for the exact API endpoint you need. Now I'm trying to get the liquidity pool. So this is exactly what I need. This is the network base. Let me go back to here and show you. This is the token network token address. This token info by exactly this network pool address is for pool. This is exactly what I want. I want to get the top pool by a token address. So I get this. If you want to try it out, you can just try and get this one. Come down here. See, you get pool and all. So this is exactly what you need. So this is what I need. I don't can try it out. This is what I need. So I come here and I put it network based token. You know, this is just a format. Once you know how the Gecko terminal look, just go and look at the syntax. This is the syntax. It shows network slash token and slash pool. So you see it here, the network, which is base, the token, I put the token address, then slash pools. So it gave me, I just have to change the token address anytime I need to get another token pool. And this is how to look. So I copy the token address. Now I paste it here with raw response HTTP get. So HTTP get is what gets that data from the API endpoint. That's what we carried data from the API endpoint, and then I save it as raw JSON. Now we all understand why this R stand for. I just want to call it straight instead of having to put this every time. I just call it as raw JSON. Then I passed it. JSON passed raw JSON as JSON data from raw response. This make it easier for me to understand that I'm getting it from raw response and I'm already pass it from JSON file to JSON data. Now is I get crazier, then I remove it, I extract from that thing. Look at this API, you will see that it starts with data. So my roots, the root data starts with data. So I'll come back and say select JSON cast. Now I have to cast because there are sometimes you just have to understand that you have to cast this data. You cast as double, you get. So JSON extract. Now this is JSON data. Now this sign, the dollar sign is used to call the root. It's called the root caller. You used to call the root of the data. So I have to use it to call the root, which is data, as array JSON. And once I pull it, that means it will overlook here and I have this. It will save my data as this. That means it know that this is what I'm trying to find and it will look into what is in that data. Now, since I've pulled it to pull array, the next thing is to unnest it. Then unnest it, then select. Now, if I want to select now, here's how you get complicated. Before you write all this, firstly come back to your from, then write from pull array, which is what I save it as. Honest pull array as T, close open bracket, pull element. Once you put it as pull element, this means I'm saving it as pull element. That means everything I honest in here, I call it pull element. You can use pull if you like, you can use any word you like, but I am saving it as pull element so it will be easy for me. Then I firstly call this pull element. When I call this pull element, it will show my data as all the data in the JSON file as a row. It will save all the data in that JSON file as a row. Let me try and show how to show it. Let me try and run this for you. So it's not running. Yeah, it's gonna be taking time a little bit since I'm using the free. Let me jump to it. So sorry, I'm used to optimizing my code to the extent that I can be using the free and I won't eat my credit anytime I'm testing. So when let me just explain once it's finished, I will show you. Once I use it at array to it now, the next thing after using the JSON cast, if you look at this template I put, the first one is then when you are selecting, you use JSON extract scalar. Now, what does it mean? You are extracting the scalar data itself from the past data. So let me look at let me show us something. JSON extract scalar. Then where you're extracting from, what you already honest as pool element. So now the dollar sign, you put your dollar sign dots. Now look at this. This data have two sides. We have the attribute side. What this is showing that this is the ID that the API is on base, and this is the contract address. Now, which type of API is it? It's a pool API. Now, this data have two sides. The first one is attributes. You need to be able to understand how to look at this thing. The first one is attributes. Look at this column here. And the second one is relationship. Now, under attributes, you have your token price in native currency, that's in Ethereum, quote token price in the quote, this pool is PRXVT and it quotes virtuous. So the quote token price, this is the price of virtuous, quote token price in native in Ethereum, base token price, and this is how it look. This is the quote token, this is the base token. Now this is the time the pool is created at if you need it. This is the token price USDT. This is the now base token, quote token. Always know that this is the base token, this is the quote token price, this is the price of virtuous, and this is the FDV. FDV is fully diluted volume. If they sell all the token, this is the price, then this is the market cap. In case you need to guess the market cap, you said that we're going to calculate. Now this is the price percentage change in 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 24 hours. Now this is transaction. Most times I don't, if the only good information in this transaction is the 24 hours. Now this is the volume. If you need to get the 24 hours volume, you can get it. Now this reserve in USD is the liquidity for this particular pool, PRXVT virtuous. No, now a token might have different pools. I'll show you it down. Then this is the relationship. The relationship part is just where they save the information about the token. Now this relationship part is telling me the first one is the base token is base, the quote token, this is a contract address from the quote token, and then the DEX. It will show you which DEX, and this is Uniswap V2 base. Now, if you come here, you know that now this is PRXVT Ethereum 35. This is another liquidity pool. If you look at the relationship on the DEX, it is Uniswap Fever base. If you look at the next one, that's PancakeSwap V3, and that's how you keep looking at it. And if you notice, their reserve in USD, they are different. All their reserve in USD are different. Now let's go back to our query. Now you know that we have attributes. Now this one has finished loading. Now look at it. This is the pool element. It's showing everything, every data in that. You see on the row, it's showing every data before the one I passed. So I don't need it. It will mess up my, so I'll delete it. Now JSON extract scalar, that's the code to extract pool elements, your root sign, dot. Where are we pulling from? Attributes. Look at it here. It's attributes. Now you go back. Sorry. And what are we pulling? You have to note, maybe get a pen and write down how what you are pulling is called. Now this is the address, this is the pool address. This address is the pool address. So the first thing I want to pull is the pool address. So I pull the pool address. Then the next thing is the pool name, and it is saved as name. The next thing I want to pull is a token price, which is the base token price USD. You just have to write it the way it is here, because once you make a mistake here and you didn't quote it the way it is quoted here, it will give you error. And then the next thing, volume USD. Now look at this volume USD. I want to show you something. I got it. Now volume USD. Then under volume USD, there's H24. So that means this is volume USD. You dot it, then H24. That means after volume USD, I want you to go into volume USD and go into the 24 hours data under it. The same thing here. I want you to look at attributes, look at the price change percentage, then you go into the 24 hours of data for it. And then my reserve in USD, after attributes, you put the reserve in USD. Now I want to get the DEX ID. Which DEX is this on? Which DEX is this on? So to get the DEX ID, DEX ID is under relationship. Relationship, from relationship, you have DEX. Now, if I want to get the base token, I'll just put relationship dot base token dot what I want to get, maybe the ID. But I don't need it because I already know my token and all. So I'll just put relationship dot DEX dot ID. Simple. Relationship dot DEX dot data dot ID. And then the last one is my FDV. I want to just get my FDV. So now note some things. Those that are numbers, the ones that are numbers, that they are numeric and not name, I'm casting them as double. The reason why you have to cast as double is just because um, you need to cast as double so you'll be able to divide them, and they will not just be integer, they will have decimal places behind them. That's how you cast as double. And because if I don't cast as double, it might not work well. It might not be divisible for me. So that's why you have to cast as double to reduce the errors there. But those that are names, I don't need to cast them as anything. They just have to go. And then I put now, that's I call the time as query that to show how recent is my data. Then from there, I'll put my from where I'm taking it from, and I'm nesting it as query. Then I close the CTE. You have to run a lot of things in CTE. Then the next thing is to pull the final answer. Select. Now I want to rank it. I want to rank my pool. Row number. By now I believe you have understand your window function. Row number over order by. What I'm ordering by is the liquidity. So the liquidity USD, descending as rank, then the pool address as pool address, pool name as pool name, token price USD at token price, price change, FDV. Now I want to pull a link so that from my dashboard you can just go to where you want to go. Now I can put concats, I use my concats power. There's something new I learned. Um, Maybe next time I may make a video on how to make a beautiful link in your data. So concat, href, you put the link. What are you trying to call? Pull address, then the target and the name it will show. View on CoinGecko terminal as link. Then I query that as that from unlisted where liquidity. Now I put this condition so that it won't just give me all the liquidity pool. It will give me the important one, the one that have higher than $50 in its pool. If I remove this, if you notice that before I remove this, when I run it, I have just only one pool. So if I remove this and run it, it will show me all the liquidity pool that exists on this token. There are 11 liquidity pool that exist on this token, but most of them are not functional. You see $16, $7, $1, 97 cents, 31 cent, 31 cent. So that means this token does not have sufficient pools on all this. So the only pool that's important to me is this one. So instead of passing it off. Let me just say where liquidity USD is greater than, let me use 50, let me use 20. The token is a small token. No, it's still one liquid, it's still one pool that it's giving me. If we try it for another token, should we try it for, if we try it for another token, it will show the same. Now look at the credit you won. It's just less than 0.01 credit. It's just as if you don't use it at all. And if you are trying to just be querying data table in Dune, it might take you a lot of time. So let me pull another example. I put some examples in my, sorry, I put some examples in my article. So, so that's it. Let me just stop here. I think my network is messy. So that's it. That's how to pull from liquidity pool. Yeah, thank